Hello everybody, welcome back to the Athena Master Material Tutorial Series. Today we are here with part 2, and today we are going to be adding layers for the different biomes of the material and fixing some parts that we didn't include in the last part of this series. So we're going to get straight into it today. Now, the first thing that we're going to be doing is coming back into our material functions folder, and we are going to be creating a new material function, which is going to be called mf_Athena underscore world height grad, which stands for world height gradient. Now, in this here, we are going to start off with world position. Get that one wrong every time because it says here. Yeah, we're going to start with world position here, move it back a bit, and this is going to come into an input, which will be a vector 3, and over here will be called chords. And it will use the preview value here. Next, we are going to get a component mask on the blue channel here, and we are then going to get a subtract node here, and we are going to come down here, and we are going to hold S on the keyboard and click here, and we're going to call this, get a scalar parameter here, and it's going to be called height grad underscore offset, and the default value for this is going to be negative 8,000, and it's then going to come into an input, which is going to be called height underscore offset, and again it is going to be using the preview value here. That is then going to plug into the subtract here. We are next going to put a divide here, and we're going to do something similar, so we're going to duplicate this one here. Instead of it being called height grad offset, it's going to be called height grad scale, and this value will be 15,000, which is also going to have an input called height underscore grad scale here. So I'll just move these a bit just so I can do that, and then this divide will plug into our result here, just like so. Just tidy this up a bit so it looks nice and tidy. Perfect, and we can save this one here. Now, what we needed this for, there is one more material function we need to create first, before that actually. Again, in the same folder here. So we need another material function here. This one is called mf_Athena underscore material underscore base. I believe it's just, yeah, base multiply. Yeah. Now in this one, we are going to get first a make material attributes, and then we're going to get a input from here. So an input of material attributes, just left called in. So it's like so. And then we're going to get from this a break material attributes, just like this, and then from this we're going to get a multiply in the base color, just leave that up here, and then this will be going into another make material attributes here, which plugs into result here, and what we're going to do is we're going to be connecting all of these values to themselves, although we will be leaving this one as it has been left, as well as tangent will be skipped. I do not know why, but this is just how it goes. So we do all of these here, just like so. Here it is. And actually, one last thing is we're going to want another input up here, left as vector3, and it's going to be called color, and will be plugged in straight to the multiplier like so. And then that is about it for this material function. Well, that is this material function here. So that is all well and good, I think. Yep, should be. So we can save this one here now, and we can close these, and we can go back into our main material that we created at the end of the last episode. And what we are going to do, instead of plugging the base material straight in from the result of rock, we're just going to move this over a little bit. What we're going to do is get the function we just created, the base multiply. Here, we're going to grab this one. We're going to plug the result in here, the result from our rock into here, and instead of the result going straight up into here, it will be this one here, and it's going to get an error because it needs the color, but we are going to do that now. So first thing we'll do is we'll just plug the lerp in there. The lerp is what we need to plug things into. So first thing we will do is we will grab our two collection parameters that we will need, which are both going to be part of NPC landscape, which we created last episode. And now the first one here, we will find rock bottom brightness here, and then this one here will be rock top brightness, and the bottom will go into A and the top will go into B. I know it doesn't seem right, but that is correct. And now the alpha will be a height lerp here, so we'll just get that there. We will get an error, but we will get a scalar value here of 0 and 0 for the contrast and height texture. And the transition phase, we will get our other function, our world height gradient here, which will plug into transition phase and will error because we forgot to change this here to use the preview value. So if I just call this again now, there we go, that's all right now. We just need to get world position here and plug x, y and z into coordinates, and that is then fixed our rock and giving it the correct tint, which is perfect. Now the next thing we are going to do is we are going to, instead of just plugging this straight into our result here, is we are going to start by creating the actual landscape layers that are going to be needed. So what we're going to have to do first is come back to our material functions here, and we're going to have to create a couple functions. So the first one we will do is mf underscore mountain grass underscore colors. So the first thing we want to do is we want to grab an input, function input of vector3, and it's going to be called grass underscore diffuse. We're going to grab this result here really quickly and just call it grass, and this is just going to have a multiply plug in here. I do not believe this is the actual one we will use, but it's in the function, so we need to add it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get a component mask here of R, G and B and plug that into the multiply there, and we're going to get a collection parameter here for NPC landscape and find mountain grass tint, which is here. Mountain grass tint into the mask, and that would output, say, the grass. But what we're going to do is we're going to get another function output here called grass tint and plug in the RGB into that. We are going to create, I believe, three more of these really quickly. The first one being called blended underscore colors. Excuse my phone. Got blended colors. Next is blended colors bias. So we'll just copy the name here and do underscore bias. And the last one down here is called rock. So what we are going to do is we're going to grab a lerp here and here and plug those into the blended colors and blended colors bias. Now what goes into the B of each of those is this here, so we'll plug these into the B. We're going to need 2 more inputs here, well 3 more, sorry. So we're going to just duplicate 3, so again we're going to call this one color blend underscore alpha. We're going to copy that name for this one here, and again do underscore bias, and these are both going to be set as scalar. This one down here is going to be called rock underscore diffuse. So these will plug into the alpha of the respected ones that they are for, just like so. And when it comes to the rock diffuse, that will again be similar to what we did before, with a multiply plugged into the rock output, just like this. So we're going to get another component mask of RGB plugged into B of this multiply, and then we're going to get a collection parameter from NPC landscape, which is going to be mountain grass, or mountain rock tint, yeah, sorry, which plugs straight into that mask. And then we'll duplicate this really quickly. I just realised there was another one. It's called rock tint, just like we had with the grass tint. And then this RGB value will plug into the A channel of the respected blended colours. I'm just going to refresh those so they are there. And we have now completed this function. So what we are going to do now is we're going to do another function, which is very similar. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on here and we're going to duplicate it. Instead of having it called mountain grass, we're going to come to where it says mountain here. If I can just get that, and we're going to put farm grass instead. We're going to come in here, we're going to change this from mountain grass tint to farm grass tint, and then we're going to change mountain rock tint to where is it? Farm rock tint. Now I've done that, you might notice that these colours are not correct. If you have knowledge of what the colours are supposed to look like. So what we are going to do is we are going to open up our F model again we used in the last episode. So we're going to open up F model and load the version that we are using. We're going to go into the search again, and we are going to search for NPC underscore landscape right here. I'm going to open this up and we are going to hit Ctrl F and search for farm grass, hit enter here for the first one. So these are our values here. So the first value here. So I'll move this off to the side. We will open our NPC landscape into the vector parameters and we'll search farm. So we've got our farm grass and rock. So for our farm grass, I have the values here. So we're going to copy this here. And we're going to paste this in the R channel. I'm going to open this back up again and we're going to copy the G. And then we're going to copy the B and put that at 0. We are then going to do the same by searching farm rock and finding the farm rock tint. So the first value is 0.77. Then this value here, 0.641284. And then 0.4543 in here. Now we can then save this, and those colours will now be correct. If we just reconnect all of these by holding Control and clicking on them, they will all refresh and be correct. And that is this function completed, I believe. Yeah. So we can now save this one and then duplicate it again. Either one will do. And instead of farm or mountain, whichever you have decided to duplicate, we will put swamp grass colours, and we will then just change these values again to be swamp, which is near the bottom here, swamp grass tint, and then down here with swamp rock tint. And again we can reconnect these all by holding Alt and click or Control and clicking, and they will update. Now we can save this as well. Now we can come into our main landscape material here, and what we are going to need is we are going to be creating some reroute nodes. So what I'm going to do is move it. I'm going to grab this here, bring it down to about here, and just search, add a reroute node here. And then we are going to do the same with this one here. Add a reroute node for that one, the alpha of our slope blend, so this one here, and the final one will be the alpha color map. I'll add a reroute node for that as well, so we'll have 3 nodes just here. Now the first thing we are going to do is we are going to come to about here, and we can search for a landscape layer blend, just like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to add, just give me a second, 4 sections on here, and they are going to be respectively named. The first one is grass underscore grass topology. The second one will be swamp underscore grass. Next will be farm underscore grass, and then mountain underscore grass, like so. And now what will be plugged into each of these?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Oh, sorry. Did not expect that to happen. But what's going to be plugged into each of these respectively is not just these nodes. What we're going to do is we're going to bring this up here. We're going to search for, we're going to get a function call first. Now we don't want swamp grass colours just yet. We would like, I don't know if it's near here, Athena base multiply. Now we are going to want this a couple times, so we can just duplicate it, ignore the fact that there is no things on here, it's just because it's been duplicated. So we're going to want 4 of these, and each of these, I believe, will be plugged into this respectively. So just like so. So just like this. we're just gonna separate these a bit. Just like so. And then move this slightly to the right here. Because we're going to need to do some things to these. So for the top one, I'm going to get a lerp and plug it in here. Oh, into colour, sorry. We can make this look slightly nicer if we just give this, I believe, sort priority of 1. I believe that makes it the right way around, or not. I'm sorry. I think, yeah, if we give color the sort priority of 1, sorry, and save, if we just quickly save this material, oh, here we go, color is now at the bottom, which makes it easier to visualize certain things. So we're going to get a component mask here of RGB, plug that into A. We're going to get a another collection parameter here, which will be plugged into here from NPC landscape again, and it's called, where is it? Rock tint. Just to, it's going to have rock tint in there. What's going to be plugged here is this, so we're going to get another reroute node just to tidy things up, just like so. Now the B is going to be another lerp, so we may want to give ourselves a bit more space for these. So just going to move this one up slightly. So what we're going to want here is we're going to want another lerp here, which will be plugged into B, like so. Now we're going to want, we're going to pop that there. We're going to want a scalar parameter called grass underscore int, and we're going to set it to 0.8 and plug that into A. B is going to be stayed at 1, and we're going to get a layer sample here, and call it no topo, which will be used later on again. And the alpha is going to be used as this one here, which now finishes our grass topology. So we're going to add this to C, and we're going to call it grass topology here, and we're going to make it green, pure green, just like so. Now the next one here is going to be for our swamp here. So we're going to get a function call for our swamp colors here. What's going to end up plugged in here will be blended colors. And again, this we got here. If you just double click on the line, you can create a reroute, just like so. And we're going to have this in here and this in here, I believe. Yeah, which completes this section. So we can just highlight, comment, mountain grass, like so. Just move all of these down a bit more, just because otherwise it seems a bit untidy. And we're just gonna get a sort of dark green colour for this. So if we just make it green, make it darker, just to look a bit more like the mountain grass. There we go, like this one. Next up is, oh, I just called this mountain grass. I'm so sorry. This is swamp grass, isn't it? We all make some small mistakes. So we need that kind of colour. There we go. You do not have to colour these. I just find it personal preference to do so. So we're going to get a material function call, and we're going to get this time the farm grass colours, blended colours into colour. The material attributes be here. I'm going to grab a reroute node just so it looks tidy. Move this one down a bit so it's not in our way. And we're going to want this in blended colours alpha and this in alpha bias, and then that is our farm grass colours complete. So I'll put as farm grass. I just like to make sure these are the same size. And we're going to give this a sort of this kind of colour. I am anyway. I'm going to get the final function call, which is going to be the mountain grass colours, the blended colours in colour, and again I'm going to get this one into here. I am again going to reroute it, and we're going to get you into here and you into here, and that completes our layers. So what we're going to do is disconnect this here. I'm going to move this up slightly so it sort of sits more nicely next to this, and we are going to plug this straight into our material attributes. Now you'll notice that the material shows up as black. That is because it no longer has a default material, but we can come in here and make the preview weight of this 1, and it will show the grass topology here. And what we can now do is, if we come into our map here, we can come into here, we can create a new level and just call it test underscore level, and we'll just make a new folder for testing here and pop this level in this folder here just to keep it all nice and tidy. We can come and open this level, and we can create a new landscape with our material here. I'm going to import a Athena height map for this one, because I have all the height maps on file. Let's see, where are they here? Since this is season 3, I'll just import the season 3 height map. Let me just grab the values for said height map for you. I will leave the link in the description for the height maps, so you can do the same test if you wish. But here we go. We do this on a test level because otherwise the material will break in our main level when we actually import the layers, correct? It will become invalid, and we are trying to stop that happening because it can be a pain to fix said issue, especially after we have added the foliage. Alright, so now we have this, we just need to fix the landscape's location really quickly, like so. Now we can come to manage and import. We have our 4 layers here. We are going to ignore the no topo layer currently, so we can now come in here. So we have got the grass topology, the swamp grass, farm grass, and mountain grass. Now, this error will pop up if we do not select the height map file. And now we can import these layers and head back into selection mode, and we have now got a nice base for our material, which is quite nice. We have our grass normals here. No foliage currently or actual layers, but this is the basic grass layers right here. For ease of use, I am just going to quickly just bear with me 1 second. I am going to grab the chapter 1 time of day just so we can see it in a nice proper light, and yeah, this is what we have gotten so far. The link for this time of day will not be in the description, as this is going to be invalid, and if you guys would like said time of day, what I can do is do tutorials in the future for this, but we can now see our grass distance blend being in use. So as we go back, you can see Grass distance blend does this and makes it sort of fade between depending on the distance of the camera, so it looks less tiling. Yep, that is the end of this tutorial today. Thank you for watching part 2 of this series, and I hope you have enjoyed. Goodbye.